along with your HOD sir, Zaman sir, I will be taking some of the classes. So the first class which I will take, that is the connective tissue. Okay, so everyone, you are aware of the 4 basic tissues of our body. What are the 4 basic tissues of our body? First is the First is the epithelial tissue, then connective tissue, muscular tissue, and nervous tissue. Okay, so these are the 4 basic tissues of our body, right? So among them, I hope first one you have studied, that is the epithelial tissue, right? So in epithelial tissue, you have studied about what is epithelial tissue, classification of epithelial tissue, structure of epithelial tissue, then example of epithelial tissue, right? And then you have seen the epithelial tissue under microscope also. Okay, now the next one, the next tissue which you have to study in detail, that is the connective tissue. Now, do you have any idea about this connective tissue? Yes.
Which one is the adjacent cell?
Cells, not exactly.
Transport and communication between.
Yes. Okay, so the name suggests connective tissue means, see, in our body, different tissues are there, different organs, different structures are there. Okay, so by definition, if you see the connective tissue, so it will connect, it will separate, and it will support other tissues of the body. So in our body, different tissues are there. Now those tissues are making organs and all. Now this connective tissue particularly, it will connect, it will separate, it will support the other tissues of the body. This is the main function of this particular connective tissue. Okay. Now in doing that, sometime what it will do, it will separate some of the tissues. Okay. Then it can join or it can combine some tissues or some structure. Okay. Along with that, it can also fill the interstices between the cells. That means the space which is between the cells. Suppose in all the cases, cells are not closely placed. In epithelium tissue, you have seen that cells are very closely placed. There are no intercellular space. But in case of connective tissue or other tissue, intercellular spaces are there. That means one cell, another cell, in between them some space or some gap is there. So that gap is also filled by this particular tissue. Okay. So through that the nutrition is passing, through that the blood vessels are passing. Okay. So like this, it is also getting nutrition in that sense. Okay, so that is the connective tissue. Now, like all other tissue, it consists of cells surrounded by a compartment of fluid. Now, here fluid doesn't mean that water. Okay, here the fluid is having gel-like consistency. Okay, here the fluid means gel-like consistency. I hope everyone know what is gel. Okay, and that particular thing is called as ECM or extracellular matrix, or I hope you have heard about ground substance. Okay. Next, the connective tissue differs from other types of tissue that the cells are loosely packed rather than tightly within the extracellular matrix. That means if you see the connective tissue, in that cells are present. Okay. Now you can say in one type cells are floating. Now how they are floating? In a fluid. Now that fluid is having gel-like consistency, and that is called as ECM, extracellular matrix. Okay. Now what is extracellular matrix? It is made up of what? All those things we'll discuss. Okay. But for the basic term, this is how it is situated. And next, the cells are widely separated. Means suppose one cell is here, another cell is here. So in between them, huge spaces are there. Next, another important structure is present along with these two, that is nothing but the fibers. I hope you have heard about fibers. Now can anyone tell me what are the 3 different basic fibers present in our body? 3 different basic fibers which are present in our body. Very important. Yes. Just now who said collagen? Yes, very good. So collagen fibers are there, elastic fibers are there, and reticular fibers are there. Okay, so these are the 3 basic fibers which are present in our body. Okay, very important, and they are having very significant role in the connective tissue. Okay, so these 3 fibers are there. Now these 3 fibers, they are also present along with the cells in this particular ground substance or in the matrix. Okay, and together they constitute the connective tissue. Okay, so let me show you one diagram so that Yeah, I hope the diagram is visible. Yes. Now this is a typical diagram showing the structure of connective tissue, right? Now here you can see the ground substance also. This particular part is the ground substance. Okay. Now ground substance, actually what happens when we are preparing the slide, particularly at that time there are different stages of preparing the slide. So first we have to extract one small amount of tissue. After that we have to cut it, then sectioning is there, then different chemicals are used. Okay, among them xylene wash is also there. So in that case what happens, most of the constituent of this extracellular matrix is washed away. So that's why generally it is not visible. Okay, it's very difficult to stain it, because once it is going away then you can't stain it, and if you can't stain you can't see under microscope. Please keep that in. Whatever you see under microscope, which color, what do you think, what is the color? Whatever you see under microscope, it is colorful, right?
Pinkish.
Yes. So yeah, most common stain which we are using, that is H&E stain. Okay. So that is most commonly used, but there are some tissues which doesn't take that particular stain. I will show you some images. So in that case you will not see those structures which are in pink color. They will appear a different color. For example, if you take the example of reticular fibers, okay, they will not take H&E stain. Instead of that they are taking some stain which are made up of silver salts. Okay, so like this different stains are there. So depending on the stain, the appearance or the color will be different. It will not be same. Okay, now mostly to show you guys, to make you understand in the basic level, H&E stain is used because it is easy to understand, so that you can easily differentiate between the cellular organelles or different structures of the cell. Okay, now this is a typical diagram of connective tissue where you can see all the components. So basically connective tissue is made up of three components. What are they? Ground substance is there. Okay, ground substance is there. Then fibers are there and cells are there. Okay, so I have told you in the definition of the connective tissue, where the cells are widely separated or widely distributed, and they are on the ground substance, which is gel-like. Okay, it's a fluid, but it is gel-like consistency. Along with that, what extra thing is present? That is the fibers. Okay, three different types of fibers are there. What are they? Collagen fibers, elastic fibers, and reticular fibers. Correct? Now, here you can see all these three things. So first you can see the ground substance, right? You can see the ground substance over here. After that, can you see the fibers? Now, can you see the fibers? So this is one type of fiber, this is one type of fiber, now this is one type of fiber. Okay, so we'll discuss about all those fibers in detail, but to make you understand that these three components are present, I am showing you the diagram. Okay, and this diagram is very helpful in the exam. If question comes that write in detail about this connective tissue and all, at that time you can use this diagram, because in this particular diagram it is a schematic diagram. Now you have to understand one thing, the histological diagram which you see under microscope, that is different, and these are schematic diagrams. Okay, these are easy to understand and easy to draw. Okay, so here you can see these are the fibers. So this is one type of fiber, this is one type of fiber, this is one type of fiber. Next, this particular area, this is ground substance. Okay, next, can you see the cells? So here one cell, here you can see one cell, here you can see one cell. Okay, so just compare the epithelial tissue which you have studied and compare the connective tissue which you are studying right now. Is there any difference? Yes, huge difference is there. In case of epithelial tissue, you have studied that the cells are lying on basement membrane. Okay, above the basement membrane, cells are there. Maybe single layer, maybe multiple layer. Okay, no intercellular space. Cells are very closely placed to each other. But here, things are totally different. Okay, so this is the ground substance. These are the fibers which you can see, and in between them, you can see the cells are present. So together, they are forming the connective tissue. Right? Though you have understood the structure of connective tissue, next we'll see one by one. So first we'll see what are the cells present in the connective tissue, what are the function of those cells, in brief, not in detail. Okay. Next, these fibers. Okay. 3 types of fibers are there. Now, what are the properties of these fibers? How they appear under microscope? What is the important functions of those fibers? Okay. Next, about the ground substance. Okay, so as I said, ground substance is gel-like. Now, it is made up of what? What material is present in the ground substance? Not only hyaluronic acid, other constituents are also there. Okay, hyaluronic acid is a small part. Okay, so we'll discuss all those things. Now, about the structure of connective tissue. So, in case of structure of connective tissue, you have to understand that 3 components are there. They will constitute together to form the connective tissue. I have shown you in the diagram, okay, and as you can see, the components of the connective tissue: cells, fibers, and ground substance. Okay. Now, the comparison, if you see, many tissues and organs in the body are made up of many aggregation of closely packed cells. For example, epithelia, solid organs like liver. Okay, that you have studied, you have seen. But in case of connective tissue, you can see cells are widely separated by prominent intercellular substance, and that is the ground substance or extracellular matrix. Now, this intercellular substance is in the form of ground substance, which are numerously filled by the fibers. So, just now I have shown you the different types of fibers which are filled in the intercellular substance. Okay. Next, 3 components are there. These cells, fibers, and ground substance. So first we'll start with the cells. So what are the different types of cells present? Now, do you have any idea which type of cells will be there? Any guess? You want to guess which type of cells will be there? Yes, yes. Okay, very good. Have you seen, who said adipocytes? Okay, very good. Have you seen adipocyte cells? That is adipose tissue. I think during dissection you have seen somewhere. Okay, very good. Okay, so that is the adipose tissue, and the cells which are present in that tissue, these are called as adipocytes. You are correct. So these cells are also present, and I am having a slide. I will show you the adipocyte cell. Okay. Now, before going to the adipocyte cell, there is an interesting thing. Okay, see, whenever you will study anatomy, you have to use some common sense, you have to use some mnemonics, okay, or sometimes you have to use your own formula to make it interesting, okay, or else what will happen, you will feel bored and things will get very difficult. Once things are getting difficult, you will lose interest. Okay. Now, one very interesting thing which you have mentioned about the adipose tissue, okay, that is, it is made up of adipocytes. Now, if you see the adipocytes, the cells under microscope, they appear as signet ring. Now, everyone, you know the ring which you wear in our digits. Do you know this is not called as finger, this is called as digit. I hope you have studied upper limb, right? So don't call it as fingers, call it as digit. Okay? So we are wearing rings, I hope you have seen. So if you see the structure of these adipocytes under microscope, they appear as signet ring. Why? I'll tell you later on. Okay, so like this, these are the type of examples which you have to inculcate whenever you are studying. Then only things will become interesting and it will be easier for you to learn. Now, please keep that in mind. In case of connective tissue, 2 different types of cells are there. In connective tissue, how many types of cells are there? 2 types of cells are there. What are they? First is the fixed cells and second is the free cells, or also called as wandering cells. So if you are noting it down, after writing this free cell, give a slash and write wandering, wandering. Okay, wandering, wandering, wandering cell. Why I am telling you this? Because in some books I have seen it is written as wandering cell. Some books it is written as free cells. Okay, so don't get confused. Both the meaning are same. So fixed cells are there. What is the meaning of fixed cell? Means they are fixed, permanent resident. Okay, they are permanent resident of that particular area. Free or wandering cells, what is the meaning? That means they are refugee. They came from outside. I hope everyone you know about refugees. You have heard about it. Okay, so these free cells are nothing but the refugees. They came from outside and then they are staying inside the connective tissue. But they are having significant role. They are having very important role in the connective tissue. Okay. So first we'll see the fixed cells and then we'll discuss about the free cells. Now, can you see the list of free cells? Can you see the have you heard about these cells? Free cells. I'm talking about free cells. Yes. Where you have studied? You have studied in blood. That's also in physiology. Okay. So you know the structure, you know the function. Okay. So same thing, same function is done by these cells in connective tissue only. And these are nothing but the cells of immune response. Next, here you can see first is the fibroblast / fibrocytes. Okay, so we'll see what is fibroblast and what is fibrocyte. What is the difference? These are not same. Though I have written / fibroblast, fibrocyte, but don't think that these are same. It's not same. Some difference is there. Some differences are there. So we'll see what are the differences. Next you can see macrophages are also there. Everyone is aware of this particular cell, macrophage, right? Okay. Next, mast cells are there. Have you heard about mast cell? Yes, very good. Where you have studied? Yes. Yes. Very good. Regarding that, I will give you an example. Have you heard about anti-allergic medicine? Yes. The most common one is cetirizine. Then this one, Montelukast, Montegelsi. Okay, Montegelsi brand name, composition if you see it is Montelukast and levocetirizine. Okay, so these are nothing but mast cell inhibitors. Okay. Next, these are the adipocytes, just now he have mentioned, and I am having a slide, I will show you about the adipocytes. After that, these are the pigment cells, also called as chromatophores, pigment cells. Okay, and next, these are the reticular cells. So these are the cells, list of cells which we will study one by one in the connective tissue. So what we will study, it's not like this that we will study about each and every cell in detail. No, just where they are present and what is their function. And in some cases, what is the shape of that particular cell. Okay. Now, before going to the detail about this thing, I would like to show one image where most of the cells, okay, are seen. Yeah. So this is a beautiful diagram where you can see most of the cells of connective tissue, right? So here you can see fibroblasts. Just see how the fibroblasts look like and see how the fibrocyte look like. Then you can see the plasma cell, adipose. Can you see signet ring appearance? Just now I told you. Okay, so you can see signet ring appearance. So from now onwards, wherever you see this particular type of cell, and please keep that in mind, this signet ring appearance, these cells are not placed singly. Means single cell is not there. Multiple cells will be there. So multiple this type of appearances will be there. And the center of the cell is empty. Can anyone tell me why it is empty?
It has fat deposit.
Okay, very good. Next.
Big cytoplasm.
No. So you are partially correct. Actually, what happens? This particular type of cells, what is their function? To accumulate fat droplet inside the cell. Okay. So whenever, as I said, we are preparing the slide to see under microscope, those washing processes are there. So in that, the fat droplet which is present, it will wash away. Okay. As a result, this particular part will become empty in nature. Will appear empty in nature, but exactly it is not empty. So if nothing is there, what will take the stain? Nothing is there, so stain cannot be taken. So stain is also washed away. But the cell membrane and the nucleus which is there, it is taking the stain. Okay, as you can see, this is the cell membrane, this is the nucleus which is taking the stain. So that only you can see that particular part. And here what happens, due to the presence of fat droplet, the cell organelles, everything is pushed towards the periphery. Okay, everything is pushed towards the periphery. That's why, can you see the position of the nucleus? Okay. Next, you can see the lymphocytes, macrophages, then neutrophil, eosinophil, then you can see the pigment cells, where pigment granules are present, and then mast cells. Okay, so we'll see one by one about these particular cells. So how many types of cells are there in a connective tissue? Two types of cells are there. Okay, fixed cells and free cells, also called as wandering cells. So fixed cells means they are fixed, they are present only in the connective tissue. Free cells means they are not fixed, they are coming from the immune system, or they are coming from the bloodstream, and then they are going into the connective tissue for providing mainly the immunological support. Okay, so the most abundant cells, please keep that in mind, the most abundant cells of connective tissue are this fibroblast. Okay, means most abundant means most number of cells in the connective tissue are this particular fibroblast. Okay, so you can see fibroblasts are most common type of cells present in the connective tissue. Now, what is the most important function of this particular cells? Always keep that in mind. If a particular cell is there, if it is given a particular name, it will be having an important function. Okay, now what is that important function? It produces different types of collagen. Collagen 1, 2, 3, proteoglycan, then fibronectin, laminin, glycosaminoglycans, metalloproteinases, prostaglandins, etc. Okay, so now what is the meaning of this? This particular fibroblast, I have shown you the diagram of the fibroblast, you have seen. So that particular cell, what is the function? It produces or it secretes, okay, what? Two important things, that is different types of collagen fibers. Along with that, it also secretes some part, okay, of the ground substance. So in the beginning, I have mentioned that three components are there, right? Cells, fibers, and ground substance. So the ground substance which is there, gel-like consistency, it is made up of these important things, proteoglycans, then glycosaminoglycans, okay, all those things are present in the ground substance. So that is also produced by these particular cells. Okay. Next, as you can see, the collagen fibers are there. So we'll discuss about the collagen fibers also. Can anyone tell me how many types of collagen fibers are there in our body? Any guess? There are more than 20 types of collagen fibers in our body. Okay, more than 20 types of collagen fibers. Now there are few collagen fibers in which till now researches are going on. Okay, among them which we are studying is a type 1 to type 5. Type 1 to 5 is there. I have seen in your book. If you open a histology book, type 1 to type 5 is there. Okay? But beyond that, it is not there because still now researches are going on. Strong concrete evidences are not there. Okay, but approximately 20 types of, or more than 20 types of collagen fibers are there in our body. Next, in adult body, if you see fibroblast, first of all, they will remain silent. Okay, when there is any stimulus, they will synthesize the contractile mechanism. They will synthesize the ECM, that is extracellular matrix, which is found in the skin, lung, heart, liver, and other organs. Okay. Next, if you see the fibroblast, they are mesenchymal origin. I hope you have studied about embryology. Embryology, have you studied embryology? Yes. So in embryology, you have studied about the 3 germ layers. Yes. So these are the mesodermal in origin. Mesodermal origin have elongated spindle or stellate shape with multiple cytoplasmic projections. So what is the shape of this particular fibroblast? Elongated spindle shape or stellate shaped. And along with that, multiple projections are there of the cytoplasm. Next, within the cytoplasm, a rough ER is there, that is endoplasmic reticulum, and large Golgi apparatus is present. So these are some unique features of this particular cell. Okay, each and every cell is having unique features, so these are the unique features. Next, this particular type of cells, this fibroblast, they produce reticular and elastic fibers also. Okay, along with the collagen fibers, they are also responsible for producing these reticular fibers and elastic fibers. Okay, now if they are associated with the reticular fibers, then they are called as reticular cells, and which we are going to study in reticular fibers. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
So what are prostaglandins?
Prostaglandin is a type of chemical. Okay. Prostaglandin is a type of chemical. Actually, what happens, there is a fatty acid, I exactly don't remember the name. After metabolism of that fatty acid, this prostaglandin are produced. So, whenever there is any inflammatory response in our body, for example, whenever a person is having fever, at that time these prostaglandins are found in the body. Okay. So about this prostaglandin metalloproteinases you will study in biochemistry. Okay, you will study all those things in biochemistry, don't worry. In metabolism of fatty acids, it is there, chapter is there in your textbook, you can check in biochemistry. At that time you will study in detail about all those things. Next, fibrocytes. So, two cells I have mentioned, fibroblast and fibrocytes. So, these fibrocytes are inactive form of fibroblast. Okay. So, fibroblast is the active form, fibrocytes are the inactive form. Or also you can say mature and immature. So, this particular fibrocytes, these are immature cells. Fibroblasts are the mature cells. Now, they are smaller, thinner, and morphologically they are different than the fibroblast. That means if you see the shape and size, it is different as compared to the fibroblast. Next, macrophages are there. So everyone knows what is macrophages. Now these are also called as histocytes. Now what do you think, what will be the function of macrophages?
To phagocyte.
Yes. Yes. So same thing is mentioned over here. As you can see, the phagocyte or eat up the unwanted material such as material, organic material, bacteria invading the tissue, damaged tissue. Okay. So all those things are eaten up by this particular type of cells, macrophages. Next, mast cells are also there. Now mast cells are also called as histaminocytes. Okay. Why? Already you know that, because these are the precursor of histamine. Okay. Which causes hypersensitivity reaction in our body. So regarding hypersensitivity reaction, you will study in microbiology, different types of hypersensitivity reactions. Now if you see the mast cells, the nucleus is small, centrally placed, irregular microvilli are also present on the cell surface. In case of mast cell, if you see the mast cell, especially the histaminocytes under microscope, then what you will observe? You will observe that the nucleus is present centrally. Next, they are having irregular microvilli present on the cell surface. Now, you have studied epithelial tissue chapter, and I hope you know what is microvilli. Yes. Because though you have studied epithelial chapter, it will be covered. I hope it has been covered.
Sir, mast cell produces histamine.
Yes, yes, yes.
Sir, basophil.
No, mostly the histamine secreted by this one, mast cell. Okay, and all the, just now I given the example, all the anti-allergic drugs which are manufactured, okay, they are inhibiting the secretion of the histamine by mast cell. Okay. What? Neutrophil, basophils, all these are cells of WBC. So all the functions of WBC, whatever the functions are done by WBC cells. Next, fat cells are there. It consists some amount of lipid and maybe present cytoplasm. Now the cytoplasm is there, but it is pushed towards the periphery because of the presence of the fat droplet inside the cell, as I have mentioned and I have shown you also in the diagram. Okay, that is the fat cells. Now these are also called as fat cells, adipocytes or lipocytes. Now aggregation of these fat cells, they forms the adipose tissue. Okay, the adipose tissue which you have seen while doing the dissection. Okay. Lastly, the pigment cell. Now here I will not be discussing about the free cells, the functions of the free cells. Why? Because all the functions of the free cells are nothing but the part of WBC. Okay, and you have studied in blood. So same things I am not going to repeat. Now pigment cells are stellate shaped cell and can easily be distinguished how? By the brown pigment, also called as melanin in the cytoplasm. Okay, everyone you know about that. Now they are most abundant connective tissue. Okay, they are most abundant in the connective tissue where? Especially in the skin, choroid and iris of the eyeball. Okay, so that also determines the color of the eye. In some person you have seen it is blue in color, some person you have seen it is brown in color. Okay, so that is depending on the this pigment which is present. So they are mostly present where? In the skin, then choroid and iris of the eyeball. So that is all about the cells. Next are the fibers. So how many types of fibers are there? 3 types of fibers are there: collagen fibers, elastic fibers and reticular fibers. Okay, these are the 3 types of fibers. Now we'll see one by one. So first we'll see about the collagen fibers. Now can you see the image of the collagen fibers? Have you heard about ultrastructure, anyone? Have you heard about ultrastructure? What is it? Yes, very good. So under electron microscope, whenever we see anything, that is the ultrastructure. So these are the ultrastructure of collagen fibers. Okay. Now in the lab, whatever you will see under the compound microscope, light compound microscope, that picture and this picture is totally different. Okay, so this is the EM picture, also it is called as electron microscope image or ultrastructure of collagen fibers. So unfortunately it is not available over here. So for that I have added this particular image so that you will be having an idea that if we see this under electron microscope, what will be the appearance. Now this is the appearance under normal compound microscope. Okay, a particular 2 diagrams. If you see this particular diagram, so these diagrams, these are the examples of collagen fibers. Okay, here collagen fibers are present. So what you have to do in order to prepare those slides, you have to take the example. For example, here you can see this is the example of ligament. Have you studied about joint chapter? Yes. In the structure of, I hope you have studied about synovial joint. Yes, so in synovial joint, you know the structure of synovial joint. In synovial joint, ligaments are present. 2 types of ligaments are there: true ligament and false ligament, right? So if you take the example of ligament, okay, take the example of true ligament. If you take the example of true ligament, prepare a slide. If you see under microscope, this will be the appearance. Okay, so this is TS and this is LS. Now why it is shown? So that you can see how the collagen fibers are associated. The collagen fibers which are there in our body, how they are associated, to show you this particular slides are taken. Okay, so this is how the appearance of the collagen fiber will look like. Now this is which diagram? Normal compound microscope, and previous one which I have shown you, that is the electron microscope. Okay, so just see the difference. In electron microscope, you have seen particular bundles of fibers. Even you have seen one single fiber also, which is not possible over here. Okay, because of the working principle, the difference in the magnification, all those things. Okay. Now collagen fibers are present in bundles. Now most abundant fibers present in the connective tissue are the collagen fibers. Okay. Now what are the properties of the collagen fibers? Now please keep that in mind, that the collagen fibers are always present in bundles. Okay, you know the meaning of bundle, not single fiber. Okay, so many fibers together, they will form a bundle, and they are present in a bundle. Now these bundles may be straight or wavy depending upon how much they are stretched. Okay, so the bundle which is there, it may be straight or it may be wavy, how much stress is applied on them. Next, the bundles are made up of collection of individual collagen fibers, and the individual collagen fibers, the diameter is approximately 1 to 12 micrometer. Okay, so these are the microscopic structure. Next, the bundles often branch or anastomose with adjacent bundles, but the individual fibers do not branch. Very important point. Okay, that means if you see the collagen fibers, the bundle, suppose one bundle, another bundle. Okay, so one bundle is going like this, another bundle is going like this. So they can branch or they can anastomose. But single fiber, they will never branch or anastomose. They will always run parallel to each other. That is the unique property of these collagen fibers. Next, with EM, that is electron microscope, each fiber is seen made up of fibrils. Each fiber is made up of fibrils that is having 20 to 200 nanometer in diameter. Okay, now each fibril consists of number of microfibril that is having 3 to 5 nanometer in diameter. Okay, so these are the smallest unit of a particular collagen fiber, that is are the fibrils. Next, the collagen fibers are also called as collagen. Why? Because of the presence of a protein, that is the collagen protein. So these fibers are called as collagen fiber. Why? Because they are having a protein in them. And what is the name of the protein? It is called collagen protein. Okay. Next, collagen fibers. Now this collagen is made up of molecules, that is tropocollagen. Okay, tropocollagen is a precursor of the collagen. Means from tropocollagen only different steps are there. After that the collagen protein is formed. Next, microfibrils. So here I have mentioned about microfibrils, right, which is the smallest unit of this particular fiber. Now these microfibrils of collagen are chains of tropocollagen molecules. Okay, so these are chains of tropocollagen molecules, and each molecule of tropocollagen is 300 nanometer in length. Within a fiber, molecules of tropocollagen are arranged in regular overlapping pattern. Okay, so if you see the arrangement of the tropocollagen, now they are very specific. So this particular molecules of the tropocollagen are arranged in a regular overlapping pattern, one over another, responsible for producing a striated appearance on the fibers. That means if you see the electron microscope structure of collagen fibers, okay, due to this particular arrangement of the tropocollagen molecule, it is striated. The fibers are striated in nature. Okay, cross striations are present. So this is all about the collagen fibers. Okay, after collagen, the next fiber is the elastic fibers. Okay, after collagen, next fiber is the elastic fibers. So elastic fiber, can you see the elastic fibers? Okay, so two different diagrams are shown over here. Okay, to make you understand about the elastic fibers. Now, if you see the arrangement of the elastic fiber and if you see the arrangement of the collagen fiber, it's very easy to differentiate. Why? Because collagen fibers are present in bundles. Elastic fibers are not present in bundles. First point. Second point, if you see the fibers, individual fibers of the collagen fiber, okay, they will run parallel to each other. They will not branch or anastomose. Complete opposite is the elastic one. Okay, so these are some differences by which you can identify which is elastic fibers and which is collagen fibers. Okay. Now you have to pay some attention over here. That is, elastic fibers are much fewer than those of the collagen. Okay, so if you see the number of elastic fibers, they are less as compared to the collagen fibers. Means number of collagen fibers are more in connective tissue as compared to the elastic fibers. Now, as you can see, they will run singly, not in bundles. So already I have mentioned. Then they will branch and anastomose with each other fibers. So branching and anastomosing is there. Individual fiber will branch and anastomose with the other fibers. Elastic fibers are thinner, those of the collagen fibers. Okay. Next, in some situation, elastic fibers are thick. Okay, now there are some areas of our body where elastic fibers are very thick. For example, ligamentum flava. Have you heard about it, anyone? Ligamentum flava? Okay. Have you studied about vertebral column? Okay. So when you study vertebral column, at that time you will know about the ligamentum flava. Okay, it is a ligament which are present in the vertebral column. Okay, ligamentum flava is present in the vertebral column. So now I am not going into that, but in vertebral column chapter we will discuss about this. Next, in other situation, they are also present in the walls of large arteries. Okay, and they form fenestrated membranes. I hope you know the meaning of fenestrated membranes. Fenestrated membranes. Fenestrated membranes means there are some blood vessels. Okay, there are some blood vessels where the walls of the blood vessels are fenestrated. Means small micropores are present. That is the fenestrated membrane. Very small, tiny micropores are there. Next, this is. Can you see the diagram, everyone? Now, this is the diagram, or you can say cut section of single elastic fiber. You have taken a single elastic fiber, you have taken a TS of that. After that, if you prepare a slide, this will be the appearance. Okay. Now, how it is made up of? Now, for that you need electron microscope. Normal compound microscope will not be able to produce this image. Okay. Now, this I have the image which I have added. This is a schematic diagram to make you understand how it is made up. Okay, or what are the components which is making this particular elastic fibers. Okay. Now, here you can see each electron microscope image of this particular elastic fiber tissue, where a central amorphous core is there and an outer layer of fibril is there. So this is the amorphous core which is made up of elastin. Central amorphous core is there which is made up of elastin. Elastin is a type of protein, and outside of it you can see the microfilaments are there, also called as fibrillin. It is a protein, and surrounding the elastic core. So this is the structure of this particular elastic fibers. Okay. Now lastly, the reticular fibers. Okay, here you can see the image of the reticular fibers. Okay, this is how the reticular fiber appears. When you will see under a normal microscope, this is how it will appear, the reticular fibers. Now, you will be shocked to know that reticular fibers are nothing but type 3 collagen fibers. Just now I have mentioned how many types of collagen fibers are there in our body? Approximately 20 types. Okay, among them first 5 types are common. Okay, means you will be getting in detail knowledge about that. Among them the third one is the collagen. Third, type 3 collagen fibers are nothing but the elastic fibers. Okay, so they show striations. Okay, periodicity. Next, they are much finer, that means very thin. They are uneven in thickness. They are in the form of network. Now what is the meaning of this? So if you see the reticular fibers, the arrangement is like this. They are in the form of network. Okay, the branching pattern is such a way that the fibers always they appear as network in the connective tissue. Okay. So they form a network or reticulum by branching and anastomosing with each other, and they do not run in bundles. So here the reticular fibers, they will not run in bundles, but they will branch anastomose with other fibers to form a reticulum or network like structure. Next, it can be easily distinguished from type 1 fibers which are stained brown. Okay, now these particular fibers, they will not stain with the help of H&E. For that, as I said, different stain has to be used, and that is the stains are made up of silver salts. Okay, that's why they are also called as argentophil fibers. Okay, argentophil fibers. Why? Because they are staining, they are taking the stain which are made up of silver salts. Okay. So these are the points from where I think short questions may be asked. Okay. Next, reticular fibers provide supporting network in many situations. Okay. They include the framework of the spleen. Okay. I hope you have heard about spleen, largest lymphoid organ of our body. Then lymph nodes, bone marrow, most of the glands in liver, kidneys, etc. So the framework of those particular organs are made up of this particular reticular fibers. So when we will study the microscopic structure of spleen, microscopic structure of lymph node, at that time you will come to know that this particular structures, the framework is made up of reticular tissue or reticular fibers. Okay, now reticular fibers form an essential component of basement membranes also. Okay, so that is all about the fibers. So 3 types of fibers are there. Now please note that whenever you are studying about the fibers, 3 types of fibers are there. So you have to know about the structure, you have to know how they appear, then you have to know about the microscopic structure exactly. Along with that you have to know about the examples. Okay, now if I ask you what will be the example of collagen fiber, what will be your answer? Example of collagen fiber means where in our body exactly they are present. Yes. Best examples are no. I am talking about collagen fibers. Collagen fibers, joint capsule, then joint ligament. These are the best example of collagen fibers. What about elastic fibers?
So wall.
Yes, walls of the arteries. Okay, walls of the arteries. I hope you have studied about the types of arteries. Types of arteries you have not studied. Okay, see. Conducting blood vessels are there, means the arteries which are there. Okay, some arteries are conducting blood and some arteries are distributing the blood. Based on that the classification is done. Okay, so among them muscular arteries there, elastic arteries are there. Okay, so in that whenever you will take a section of the blood vessel, mainly the artery, okay, the layers which are present. Okay, so the middle one, tunica media, in that what is present, depending on that you can comment that yes, this is muscular artery or this is elastic artery. Okay, so the elastic fibers are present in the elastic arteries. And what about the reticular fibers? So here you can see I have given the examples of the reticular fibers. Okay, so whenever you are writing in the exam, please at the end whatever you have written, don't forget to give examples. If you are not giving examples, your answer is not complete. So that is all. Now which component is left? Which component? Ground substance is left. Okay, so see, ground substance is basically, if you see the structure, it is completely biochemical. That means biochemistry is involved in that. Okay, and unless and until you study that biochemistry part, okay, it will be a bit difficult to grasp all those things. But eventually when you will study the biochemistry, okay, I know you will be studying, at that time things will get clear. Okay. Now ground substance, so amorphous ground substance of connective tissue is transparent. First of all, it is transparent with properties of viscous solution or highly hydrated thin gel. This is the consistency of the ground substance. Okay. Now the principal constituents are large carbohydrate molecules or complexes of protein and carbohydrate. It is called as glycosaminoglycans. Okay. This is the main constituent of the ground substance. Next, the main function of the ground substance is that they act as gel-like matrix which fills the space between the cells and fibers, provides support, allows nutrient exchange between the cells and blood vessels. Okay, along with that it also helps in resisting the compression force, plays a major role in cell migration, proliferation and tissue development. Okay, so these are some important functions of the ground substance which is present in the connective tissue. So whenever you are writing about the connective tissue, what exactly is present in the connective tissue, and along with that what is the function of the connective tissue, that also you have to mention. So ground substance, how it is made up of, or what are the constituent of ground substance? As you can see, large carbohydrate molecules or complexes of protein and carbohydrates, that is called as glycosaminoglycans. Okay, now along with that proteoglycans are also present. Okay, yeah, so this is the gist of whatever we have discussed so far. Till now whatever we have discussed, this is the gist of the story, right? So first you can see how many three types of fibers are there. Okay, just now we have discussed three types of fibers, right? So you can see collagen fibers are there, elastic fibers are there, reticular fibers are there. Next you can see the color. Collagen fiber purely white, elastic fibers is yellow in color. Why? Because of the elastin protein which is yellow in nature, that's why it appears yellow. These don't have any color. Can you comment? Any guess? It depends on the stain which you are using. Next, number, it is largest, means most numerous fibers, that is the collagen fibers. This is the next, and very less number of fibers, that is the reticular fibers. Next, stain and appearance, you can see the appearance dull pink with eosin, bright, highly refractive, and it doesn't stain with HNE. For that, what we have to use? Silver salt, stains which are made up of silver salts. Next, protein, you can see collagen protein, elastin protein, and here reticulin protein. Next, you can see the thickness, so it is the thinnest one. Next features, wavy do not branch, run in bundles. Here wavy branch run singly, okay, single fibers. Then this straight branch anastomose and forming reticular. What is the meaning of reticular? Network like structure. Next special stain. So you can see these are the name of the special stain which are used to stain this particular type of fibers. Okay, as you can see silver nitrate is used and then it will appear black. Next, sites. What is the meaning of sites? Examples where they are exactly present in our body. So you can see they provide strength, tendon to provide elasticity, ligamentum nuchae, vocal cords in case of lung. Next, to provide support, spleen, liver, lymph node, kidney, BM means basement membrane, etc. Okay. So whatever we have discussed, this is the gist. Okay. So today what we have discussed, first we have seen what is connective tissue, definition of the connective tissue, components of the connective tissue. Okay, then in components of the connective tissue we have seen that 3 components are there. Okay, so what are these 3 components? Cells, fibers and ground substance. Now in the last part I will give a shortcut. Now suppose in the exam or in the practical if you forget how many components are there of the connective tissue. Okay, so it is my formula how to remember. Connective tissue, how many components are there? 3 components. Connective tissue starts with which alphabet? C. Which number?
3.
3 for 3. Have you got the point? So like this, 3 for 3. 3 for 3. Connective tissue, first alphabet is C. Which number? 3. How many components are there? 3. 3 for 3. Okay. So like this, if you will study, you will never forget. Okay. So today I will stop over here. In the next class, we will see about the classification of connective tissue. Okay. Entire classification, along with that, the properties, features, their function. Okay. All those things. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.